The war on fraud is just getting started. One Minnesota millionaire blowing the whistle on the state's welfare programs. He was able to legally qualify for food stamps despite his high net worth.
I strongly support SNAP benefits for truly needy individuals. But when we have nearly 1 in 7 Americans receiving food support in the wealthiest nation on earth, with historically low unemployment rates, something is wrong. One might call the current eligibility rules fraud by design.
It's not just Minneapolis. YouTuber Nick Shirley has moved on from Minneapolis into California, where he has discovered what could be another major scandal.
There's over 35,000 licensed daycare facilities inside of California. These people are underneath a different program, and what they're doing is they're creating these daycares, and then they're living off of government subsidies. So these houses will have these daycares in the middle of a neighborhood, and these families are completely living off government subsidies off of the 10 kids that they have enrolled.
That interview was part of David Asman's new special, Fox Business In-Depth, War on Fraud. It airs tonight, 8 p.m. And it's not just about catching criminals, it's about protecting programs that tens of millions of Americans depend on. And David joins us now. Talk to us. What did you learn?
Well, first of all, Nick Shirley is doing God's work again. I mean, he's doing the old-fashioned stuff of just knocking on doors. And why more reporters don't get scoops like that is beyond me, although more are getting enticed in because it's so rich. Let's talk about how rich it is. We spent $5.5 trillion during the pandemic. Both administrations spending money is just awash. Plus, it happened during the Biden administration, the same time when they opened the borders. So the U.S. had this big sort of hat on saying, rob me blind. And people from all over the world came in quite freely because there were no borders, came in and started doing it. We focused on Somalians. And in fact, Nick Shirley is finding out that in California, a lot of these so-called daycare centers with no kids are run by Somalians as well. So Somalia was in particular looking at the U.S. and realizing it was the gravy train and we're going to get on it. But there are Chinese communities that were getting on it. There's people from all over the world that were coming in. Essentially, what is happening now is this administration, first of all, they did close the borders. And they're trying to investigate it. We have Dr. Oz on. He's talking about, he thinks he can cut $100 billion in waste and fraud out of Medicaid, Medicare over the next couple of years that he has left.
That doesn't even pay 1 month of interest on the debt.
And you think of the $5.5 trillion. There's all sorts of money that went out for education. It's not just Medicaid and Medicare. Remember the $184 billion that went through K through 12 education, a lot of it being manipulated by the teachers' unions, et cetera. So there's a lot of money out there. Cash flow, just to focus on Minneapolis, we all know about Minneapolis. Turns out in 2024, people left that small Minneapolis airport with $343 million in cash. In 2025, it was $350 million in cash just going out of the airport. That doesn't include the remittances that were sent by mail, by electronic means. So, I mean, it is extraordinary how much fraud there is in this state.
The fellow we had on from Minnesota, he used that phrase that this was fraud by design, right? And I just think it's interesting. He pointed to a stat and said, when I see 1 out of 7 Americans on food assistance, I view that as a failure of the wealthiest country on earth.
Right.
But if you were in the Obama administration or the Biden administration, you view that as an indicator of success.
Yeah.
You want more. I remember Obama, you know, in the aftermath of the Great Recession, those guys were like, we are so happy to say we have gotten more people on SNAP benefits. And you're like, that's not the goal. So part of it is the design, David.
I've got a pop quiz question for you, Taylor, because you're always giving it to me and I don't know the answer to it. What's the name of the treasurer in Minnesota?
Oh, gosh.
It's a trick question.
That's hard. There is none.
She's a brilliant human being. Wow. Yes, there has been none since 1998.
That's the
There was no treasurer in Minneapolis.
Can they do that?
Your state. They did it, and we see what's happened. I mean, who's minding the store? Where did that K through 12 education money go? Where is all this money go? We're finding out a lot of what's happening.
We do have a governor, an attorney general, and an auditor. Some of those guys.
We also have a Treasury Secretary who has closed down a lot of these electronic transfer payments, particularly among people. One of the things you have to prove now is that you are not on government assistance. So the money that you're sending out can't be sent out by taxpayer. It can't be taxpayers' funds that you're sending out. So there are crackdowns, but I'm afraid to say that Dagan is 100% right on this. There are hundreds of billions of dollars that are just unaccounted for. It's like the whole country didn't have a treasurer watching the store.
That individual who got SNAP benefits, who's a millionaire,
Right.
that is the rule, not the exception.
Yeah.
That in more than 40 states in this country, there is no asset test.
Right.
There is only an income test
Right.
to get on food stamps. However, in the One Big Beautiful Bill, because the Republicans imposed work requirements on working age individuals, they in essence bigfooted that rule.
Yeah.
Because if you are able to, they force you to go out and earn an income if you can. So if you're somebody with millions and millions of dollars and you think you're going to go get food stamps, they force you to work at least, it's like 4 hours a day, roughly, 5 days a week. So that was an end around to fixing that problem of having no asset test.
But we've become so accustomed to this overcharging and paying out what has been overcharged. We just had breaking news from the Wall Street Journal, by the way, autism therapy. That was where a lot of the scandal was operated. And not just in Minnesota. This is one in Indiana. Autism therapy firm was paid $340,000 per patient. It has just been removed, barred from getting any more Medicaid because of the work that Dr. Oz is doing. I don't want to give him all the credit because a lot of people have been looking at it, but $340,000 per patient.
So let me just quickly play this soundbite because you spoke with Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Emmett Oz. He broke down just how bad this problem is. Take a listen.
Let me give you a high-level number. We think there's about $100 billion in definable fraud, waste, and abuse. To put that in context, if we just were taking out fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicare, we will double the life expectancy of the Medicare Trust Fund. So all those folks who are worried that Medicare is not going to be there for them after they finish working their whole careers, you have a lot more confidence in this beautiful social safety net, the crown jewel of our program, being viable if we get rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse. So when we talk about these other states that are in trouble, please remember that goal and general affordability of health care is of primary importance to the president.
I think he's 100% right, David, and I don't want any fraud, waste, or abuse. I'll take the $100 billion. But when Elon Musk did Doge and fell short of his $1 trillion mark, everybody kind of poo-pooed it.
Right.
You know, what difference was really made? So do you think that the average American will look at this $100 billion and appreciate what they're doing here?
The individual examples are so good, and unlike what happened with Doge, where there wasn't that kind of follow-through that we were all hoping for, and that frankly discouraged Elon Musk, among others, because he didn't see the fall. He thought it would be, all we had to do was expose this stuff and then there'd be a crackdown. Now it looks, it may be too late to get some of the big high rollers, but it does seem to be happening. But where there were pockets, it's the pockets of this fraud that is the worst. And one of those pockets, of course, is Minneapolis, but Los Angeles, California right now. Right. Talk about a city that has gone unattended for much too long. 1/3 of all the hospices that Medicaid pays for is in that one city, Los Angeles, California.
Wild.
1/3 of all the hospices, and that's where this fraud has run rampant too. That's another section. So it's happening all over the country, but there are these pockets that they're really focusing on now.
Well, we will be watching tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. David, thank you so much for shedding light on this.